Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Noah here, and I'm back to tell you all about the diet update. Let's get started, shall we? Weighed myself this morning. Very strange. I weighed myself on the traditional scale, which doesn't use any electricity. It looked like it was around 150, with that one. Slightly above, so I guess like 151 maybe, but I wanted to be sure, so I used one of our electric measuring tools, scales, I guess. And that's at 150.6, so I was like, oh, I guess at 150.6. So I went to sleep, then I took a shower, and when I got out, I decided to see how much I weighed afterwards. And then it said 151.6. And then I continued to measure myself again and again on the blue one to make sure that that was the right number, and that's what it said. So I honestly don't know how I jumped up like 3 pounds today. Very strange. Maybe it's water weight. I'm not sure. But it's annoying, and I don't like it. So 151.6, I guess. Moving on, we're going to talk about what was eaten today. In the morning, I had an omelet with Mexican cheese and salsa made by my mom. It also had avocado. It was very good. Next, in the afternoon, I had a smoked turkey sandwich with keto bread, mustard, mayonnaise, and cayenne pepper with pepper jack cheese slice and 11 harvest snaps. So that was pretty good. And a can of A&W Zero Sugar Root Beer. Next thing I had, I chewed some gum. I also drank coffee with the omelet today as well. I forgot to mention that. I chewed my Sour Patch Kids mango peach gum. I had that like in the morning, the afternoon, and at night. And I think in total I had like four of them. I guess I have a sweet tooth and I like tart and sweet candy like things, but I can't eat that stuff when I'm on a diet, so I have to suffice with flavored gum instead with zero sugar. And then at night, I had a bit of smoked turkey slices, then two keto breads with mayonnaise and cayenne pepper with two microwaved hot dogs that were microwaved in the microwave for 1 minute, and put on top with some mustard. I couldn't put any ketchup because the ketchup has high fructose corn syrup in it. And I ate that. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, before leaving back for work after eating my turkey sandwich, I did make a keto friendly peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I did find all natural peanut butter. Interesting thing about the all natural peanut butter, it did not, even though it didn't have any sugar or hydrogenated oil mixed into it, the carb count was pretty similar to regular peanut butter. So I was like, what's the point? Like if it's so close to being like normal peanut butter, where it's just like 1.5 grams of carbs off, then well, I just use the normal peanut butter and just use a lot less of it. Like, what's the big deal? It's really weird. And then the last thing I consumed today were my vitamins. So that's pretty much everything eaten. Exercise includes walking around the store today, doing my duties, lifting heavy material, heavy bags, loaded with a lot of goods. There you go. Well, all right. Now we can move on to the daily update. So let's go ahead and do that. So when I woke up this morning, I woke up at around 7, but I was so tired that I decided to stay in my bed. And I woke up at 8, and I woke up, used the restroom, went back to sleep, and Then I woke up again at 8:20, and I just kept on dozing in and out until I finally was like, okay, fine, I'll get up at like 8:40. So I got up at 8:40. I felt really greasy and gross, so I decided to take a shower. Lasted for about 30 minutes from like 8:45 to 9:15. Yeah, pretty much. And when I was done, I put on deodorant and cream, moisturizing cream on my face. I got dressed and ready for work. My mom had an omelet ready for me. I got into a little conversation with our family friend about needing to take out the cans and bottles that were in the living room and how it was bugging her, and how I had time yesterday to do it, but I chose not to do it, instead sit on my butt and watch TV all day in the morning before leaving for work. So I should make that a priority when I wake up first thing tomorrow morning, just to get it out of the way and over with, so I won't get any more complaints, and I do something productive at the start of the day. So yeah, after that, we just talked about different things. A new Knives Out movie coming out, and yeah, things like that. Well, I asked Mom how our weight's going, and we decided to order a new battery for our older body scale, because that thing felt more accurate than the blue one that we're currently using. So we're definitely going to, so I ordered some batteries that were compatible with the one that was like the one we've had since I was a kid. They're coming in tomorrow, and we're going to pop those in and measure ourselves, so that's going to be cool. And then I had to leave for work. So I said goodbye to my mom and a family friend that I love them, and then I drove all the way to work. Now, when I got to work, first hour was spent doing a lot. It wasn't bad, except for around the middle where I needed to use the restroom. I did chew some gum, the Sour Patch Kid mango peach gum, before leaving. When I got there, I find that the gum, because of the xylitol in it, it causes me to have the runs and gets me to need to use the toilet more. So perhaps I should only chew that gum when I have the day off, or when I don't have time sensitive, tasks to, work on. So yeah, that's something that should be kept in mind. But anywho, so yeah, I pretty much did carts for the first hour. Second hour, I just bagged up front. It was very nice and friendly to the customers, and I say I did a pretty good job when I needed to. Any interesting interactions? No, I can't think of any right now, if I'm being honest with you. Just nice people, I suppose. Most. Yeah. And then the third hour was spent pushing a cart, giving out snacks to customers, samples, which was like cheddar sour cream chips and regular chips. As I was giving them out, there was like families and different, old people, young people, all kinds of people who wanted to try the snacks out. So that was pretty cool to give them something to snack on while they were shopping, I suppose. I even was able to get like 2 families to get the chips I was selling, which felt kind of accomplishing, I would say. Then, oh right, before I did samples, I did go on my 10-minute break, where I decided to spend that time doing some breath work, and it was alright. I wouldn't say I had a deep, insanely profound experience. Overall, it was just, it was okay. Next up, The fourth and final hour I would spend alternating between going through different check stands, bagging, and then taking orders out to customers who were waiting in their car. Yeah, not much really say here. Just did my job. Then I punched out for lunch and I was on my way out, but then I decided to stop and say hello to one of my friends from high school back in the day, and we were just catching up a bit. He was telling me about like this lawsuit that Twitch had, where if you were a participating Twitch customer back in like the early 2020s and you were part of this like legal lawsuit, and you could submit a form and get a legal check sent to you. So he decided to do that, and he was able to get like a check for $500. So I was like, dang, that's pretty awesome. So yeah, and then in the middle of our conversation, I was stopped by one of my coworkers who's a cashier, who was yelling at me to get back in, but I told him that I was on my lunch break, and he was like, oh, never mind, sorry about that. And he went back, and so then I said goodbye to my friend. I drove home for lunch. I made my sandwich. As I was making my sandwich, my sister was making French toast, and my mom was sleeping in the den while watching TV. And then when my sandwich and my Harvest Snaps and my A&W Zero Sugar root beer were ready, I was watching a new Papa Meat video that was pretty interesting. I'm just going to say that. I'm like, ooh, this is weird. I don't know if I want to talk about this, so I'm just going to say it was interesting. Then afterwards, I decided to leave. Before I did, I commented on my sister's French toast, which she put flavored oatmeal layered on top and fried, and I was like, ooh, that looks good. She was like, hey, yeah, I know you're on keto diet, so do you want to try and then spit it out? And I was like, oh, heck no, that's disgusting. I'm not going to do that. Like, if I'm going to eat something, I'm going to gosh dang eat it. I'm like, unless it's like poison or, something where I'm making sure it's like safe to eat, but something like that you're supposed to ingest, no thank you. So that's what happened with that. Then I said goodbye to my sister and my mom. I left to go to work again. And yeah, it was a pretty chaotic, non-stop workday for the next 4 hours. First 3 hours were spent just bagging. And then the last hour was spent doing just pushing carts for an hour. Not much to really report here other than it was non-stop and very busy. Then, after it was done, I decided to say goodbye to my coworkers. I drove off home, and when I got home, my mom and sister were watching a Cher and Sunny biopic movie. While they were watching that, I decided to make some keto-friendly hot dogs and get an A&W Zero Sugar and watch some VR news videos, which, like, by the time I was done watching them, I was like watching them at 3x speed, and there were like different videos from like Thrill Seeker to Gladly It's Bradley, and it was just so much. And then Neuralink, I watched some Neuralink news, and after watching all that, my head felt like it was spinning, like, ugh, too much information. I feel like my head's about to explode. So I stopped, and I decided to chill with my mom, finishing off that Sunny and Cher biopic that was made in 1999. And yeah, as we were, I wasn't able to start from the very beginning, but I pretty much tuned in the last like 20 to 30 minutes. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was very dramatic. It was very heavy. Um, but it was also pretty interesting. If you're into Cher and Sunny, it offers an interesting glimpse into their lives that definitely feels like eye opening to what was going on, for sure. Yeah. Well, that's pretty much all I've got to say about it. For what little I watched of it while I was playing with my mom's hair. Well, so yeah, she was like sitting on the couch, and I was standing behind the couch, like just yeah, because she likes me playing with her hair. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Why not? And yeah, afterwards, I'm going to say she was done, so she asked if I was gonna play a game. I was like, yeah, I'll play something. So I turned on my Switch because I felt like playing on my Switch tonight. And right before I was gonna play, she reminded me that I need to write a check for utilities and groceries. So I did that and I gave it to her. And then afterwards, I began playing my Switch. I started with a game called Yooka-Laylee: The Impossible Lair. It was all right, I suppose. Yeah, I only played through one level before I got a little bored of it and decided to move on to another game. I decided to do Mario Maker 2. Oh, I got caught into trying to make my own level. I got the idea of using the cannonballs that shoot like into the sky, and you have to jump on them and like find your way down the level like to get to the goal. But as I was designing it, like I was having a hard time figuring out. Okay, so he's gonna jump and the ball's gonna hit him here. Oh, but this is the perfect spot for him to jump. But how is he gonna go down, and how do I know how the cannonball is gonna activate? And I found like as he's going down, like as the cannonball enters the screen, that's when it activates. It doesn't activate when like it's just off screen, but like you're nearing it. You need to be at the screen at the same time as the cannonball in order for it to go off. So that's definitely gonna be something I would have to be put into consideration. I then got curious about what other people's levels were in the game, so I decided to look that up in the online course mode. A lot of them are just auto scroll levels with like just a bunch of visual um, noise, and a lot of them were really simplistic puzzles that felt like they had like an idea, like, oh, this feels like it could make for an interesting idea or concept, but it wasn't fully fleshed out. And a lot of them were just pure brain dead. Like, just there's a bunch of coins in the middle of the screen. You grab them, but you don't have to. You could just run to the pole, and there you go. Like, and there was a lot of levels like that where there was just no creativity or thought put into them. They were just felt like they were slapped together as a last minute like school project, and that sucked a lot. But I decided I need to play a real game because this kind of I feel like I'm losing my brain cells playing these bad levels. So I jumped off and I decided to play Super Mario Brothers Wonder to get an idea of how that game works. And overall, I'm gonna have to say, Wonder is definitely a much better game in terms of its level design, sound design, thought, and effort put into presentation and vibes. Yeah, Wonder's definitely an overall better put together project than levels that were probably made by a bunch of like, incompetent programmers or people who never designed a game in their life. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, but anyways, yeah, I played a bit of Wonder, but then I got stuck on World 6, the collection room, the first collection room you go to when you enter the world. And in this, you're supposed to find like 5 secret coins that are scattered throughout this like room with 3 different power-ups: the elephant power-up, the bubble power-up, and the drill power-up. and I got all of them except for one, and I honestly didn't know where it was until eventually, like, I found, like, I literally need to look for a tutorial on the internet in order to find out where the last coin was. And when I found it, it felt like such a, you know, bad move played on the developer's part, where like it's so cryptic on where it is because it's hidden just off screen and you need to have the drill power up in order to go down and like go through to get it. Like, but I guess you gotta think like that when playing a game like Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Not everything is spelled out for you. You've got to kind of really rack your brain to really figure things out. So I guess in a way that's kind of good. But I was basically done with that after I was done like with that little collection level. So I tuned out of my Switch and I decided to listen to Robert Monroe from the Monroe Institute talk about his experiences astral projecting and how he believes like the human experience is something that our baseline like consciousness enjoys coming back to because of the different locations, environments, and feelings it gives us. But ultimately, it's good to be out of that environment once you're done with it, and how we're all like playing roles in this like 3D holographic projection, as he kind of puts it. And then like I decided to click on the YouTube channel that like posted the video, and he basically had like his latest video was like, oh no, we're all just gamers in a game and we're choosing to play a character and that's just how it is, but our baseline existence is not the character that we've chosen to play. And yeah, pretty crazy wild stuff like that. That it's interesting to dive into how people believe and perceive the world, and it really does open up your mind and make you think. Well, anyways, as I was listening to that, I was taking my vitamins, I was brushing my teeth, and I was getting ready for bed. And when I was ready, I decided to record this video. And that's pretty much my day in a nutshell. Nothing too crazy happened today, and it was a pretty okay day overall. Tomorrow I go back to work from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m., so it's going to be a good one. And I will see you in the next video. Take care, everyone, and have yourselves a great rest of your time.